Hello, hello. Welcome back to Endurance Minded. Super excited for today's episode. It is something that I think a lot about, and I'm hopeful that at the end of our episode today, you'll have a different perspective on what it looks like for you to be extraordinary. The reason that I like this topic, the reason that I think about it a lot for myself as well as for others, is I recognize that we put a tremendous amount of pressure on ourselves to fit in. And we think a lot about whether or not we are or aren't doing things, quote unquote, the right way, or doing things in alignment with other people's expectations of us, or how we should do things, or our process, or our approach. And while I certainly understand that that is the human condition, and I don't know that we can totally get to a place where we're able to avoid or sidestep that, what I do recognize and I want to impart on you today is that I think that there is a massive opportunity to exchange how we think about fitting in, and recognize that if we are an individual, if you are listening and you are someone who is trying to do things differently, if you're trying to reach your full potential, if you are trying to be extraordinary in whatever way you want to define that, in whatever way that makes sense for you and your world, then by definition, you can't fit in. By definition, you can't do the same things that other people do. And so I think for me, as soon as we let go of that, as soon as we relinquish some of that pressure that is so often self-imposed, I think it provides, one, a tremendous amount of freedom to think and act and do things in a way that we want to do them. And I think it also provides a very different perspective to think about and compartmentalize how we move through the world. And so to kick this off, I want to set the stage with just a frame of reference, which is, if you want to achieve something extraordinary, again, in whatever way you define that in your life, that could be building an exceptional career, that could be finishing a physical feat or endeavor that is far outside of your comfort zone. Whatever that is, doesn't have to be anything particular. If you want to be an incredible partner, if you want to be an extraordinary friend, if you want to achieve something extraordinary, you have to be willing to do what most people want. Success, whether it's in business, fitness, life, requires being extraordinary. So not just good, not just disciplined, but consistently going beyond the norm. By definition, what everyone else is doing is yielding ordinary results, right? If we think about just that simple fact as an equation, then what other folks are doing, the norm, is yielding ordinary results. And so if we want to do something that is outside of the ordinary, then we have to think about things differently. We have to do and take different actions. We have to be someone different. We have to do different things. And that's going to yield extraordinary results. It's going to allow us to move through the world in a different way. It's going to allow us to think differently, to behave differently, to act differently, to take different actions that yield different results. So I want you to just understand that equation. And that's truly how I think about it. It's normal input equals ordinary output. Extraordinary input is going to yield extraordinary output. So why does this matter? Well, it matters because most people settle for what's comfortable. Now, I'm not here to say that everyone has to reach for the stars, but I am an advocate that everyone works to maximize their full potential in whatever capacity and way that looks and feels like for them in their lives. I think that all of us are capable of extraordinary things. And I think that the real fact of the matter is that most people fall extraordinarily short of their full potential due to any number of reasons and circumstances and scenarios. However, I do know that we can also control certain aspects of that. Certainly, some certain aspects are far outside of our control. But the things that we can control are what we're going to talk about today, which is your mindset, which is thinking about what extraordinary input looks like so that it yields extraordinary output. So, extraordinary results require extraordinary actions, extraordinary decisions, an extraordinary mindset and mindset shifts. And that's really what I want to get into today. And so if you do what everyone else does, you're going to get what everyone else gets. Let's just state that and move from there. So what you're going to walk away with today is we're going to break down how this applies in a few key areas of your life. We're going to break down how this applies in your work, in your physical pursuits, and your life, your lifestyle, with actionable takeaways so that you can actually make some change. This is something that I'm hyper focused on this year. And I want to deliver this in a very, very tactical way for our audience so that you can walk away with clear through lines of what the hell it is that I'm talking about. Because I know that so much of what we hear about this topic and in and around this topic is a lot of people talking at us, but no real clear solutions on what it looks like to change our mindset. So I want this episode to be notably different. So let's dive in. Let's talk about